Welcome to the You Are It podcast. My name is Alejandra Orozco. I am a social science researcher and an energy healer. You Are It has been created to support you in expanding your perception of reality. You are loved and absolutely deserving simply because you are, not because of what you have accomplished. Join me and be ready to transform your beliefs and approaches as you enter the flow of becoming one with your highest good and your highest purpose. Hello, dear all. I have been wondering if this was it for me in terms of sharing insights through this You Are It podcast. I did not have much inspiration for what to share next until the weekend before this episode was due. In my usual morning times of meditating and listening for guidance, I came across a message channeled by Robin Doe. It was about a message from Jesus titled, "Miracles Arise from Love." It then became so clear that this episode would be about love and its absence. And yes, I have talked about love before. Sometimes it seems like it is all I talk about. But let us see what is new to share in this episode as the ideas flow. There is a quote from the Dalai Lama that says, "What is love? Love is the absence of judgment." So we have defined judgment as a state, a conditioning, an attitude, a habit that causes us to see the faults in other things, beings, situations, experiences. When we judge something, we are displeased with it. We give it a lowered value or category, or we simply label it as negative. Judgment is a form of separation. Yes, we judge to separate ourselves from something else that we do not like or approve of or have strong negative feelings about. Often, we also want to judge our own actions. And although we often seem ready to justify our actions and disapprove of the actions of others, in reality, at a subconscious level, our judgment of others or our perception of separation from others also reflects or is embedded in some judgment of ourselves. And of course, we wouldn't know how to do to others what we haven't learned and done to ourselves. Our habits are learned practices that we use in the world after we have mastered them in our inner reality. Part of the message that Robin channeled said, open quotation marks, "When you are love in action, there is no judgment, which prevents any separation." Close quotation marks. So, to be in judgment is to be in separation. Yes, the one who judges will always mean to separate from that which he or she judges. The message also said, open quotation marks, "To be in a state of separation is to be out of grace." Close quotation marks. Imagine not being able to be the love that you truly are. To see that love and to share that love. That is, indeed, being out of grace. Divine grace surrounds us all the time, but we can only experience it when we are in a state that reflects that grace, that oneness. The message also said, open quotation marks, this is the ultimate separation. To have a heart that is closed, close quotation marks. Perhaps to choose to close our heart can be similar to renouncing our divinity, to renouncing the love that we are. There is so much beauty and wisdom in this message that I highly recommend you listen to it by following the link I have provided in the description of this episode. It might be the message that supports the transformation of your state of being. Your nature is love, and everything around you is designed to bring that love out of you. Everything is meant to support you in manifesting the love that you are. Conflict and war are there so that you can choose to be loved and support the healing of others. Your influence is undeniable, for you are an individual manifestation of the whole and are meant to support the well-being and transformation of the whole. I was particularly moved by a quote in the message that said, open quotation marks, you are never meant to suffer, and this only happens when you forget to live by your true nature, close quotation marks. Wow, to learn this is quite something, isn't it? If we are water, we just flow by nature. If we are love, we just are love regardless of the circumstances. We have never seen rain choosing to fall on fertile soil while avoiding the barren asphalt. No, rain simply falls on all surfaces, regardless of their inherent nature. When we develop an ego, and with it the emotions of fear, the need to fit in, worries about lack of material stability, anger, resentment, etc., we are out of our natural divine state of being. When this is the case, the result is certainly suffering. Through the promptings of our ego mind, we can become so disconnected from higher states of unconditional love, honesty, kindness, compassion, etc., that we can suddenly justify the harm we do to others based on religious beliefs, race, gender, and differences of opinion. In a state of judgment, or when we are not living by our true nature, it becomes easy to speak ill of others, to condemn what we don't want or prefer. Please remember that discernment is very different from a state of judgment. With discernment, you are able to distinguish the diversity of thoughts and actions within this reality. But you don't have to speak evil or judge what you don't prefer in order to move towards what you find elevates you. You simply move towards being loved without having to revile those who do not show it. For the discerning soul, it is not their business to reject or criticize anything, but simply to be the love that they are at all times, regardless of the circumstances. So again, remember the message. You are never meant to suffer, and this only happens when you forget to live by your own nature. There is a beautiful and most powerful real-life story about Terry Dobson, who was a master of Aikido, which was shared by Ram Dass. Allow me to try to share it here. One day, while riding a train on the streets of Tokyo, Dobson, then a student of Aikido, was in a partially empty car when, At one of the stops, a large, dirty, and angry Japanese man boarded the train and, in his drunkenness and rage, swung at the mother carrying her baby, causing her to fall on the lap of an elderly couple who immediately retreated in fear to the back of the car. Almost everyone who witnessed the scene was terrified by the actions of the drunk man. At that moment, the Aikido student felt he had the opportunity to show his skills, his untested Aikido skills, after 3 years of almost daily practice. Because Aikido students are not allowed to use Aikido for fighting, as Aikido is the art of reconciliation. Aikido is about resolving conflicts, not starting them. He stood up, ready to take down his opponent, thinking, what better situation to show his skills than by stopping and destroying the guilty to save the innocent? As he stood up to face the man in a provocative manner, the drunk man noticed him and said, I'm going to teach you foreigner a lesson in Japanese manners. To which the student responded with a look of disgust, heating up the provocation. As the drunken man was about to step up and fight with the student, who was looking forward to crushing his opponent, a voice from an elder sitting on one side said, Hi! The drunk replied in an unfriendly manner, but began to move towards the elder. The elder continued to ask questions, to which he received some aggressive answers, but answers nonetheless. The elder then began to tell the man how he and his wife liked to have the same drink he just had every day by a persimmon tree, and that it was delicious. Then the drunk man began to say with anger and sadness, Well, I don't have a wife anymore. She died. I don't have a home. I don't have a job. Then the elder, with an open heart, just acknowledged his difficult predicament. As the train approached the stop where the Aikido student wanted to get off, he had enough time to witness the drunk man with his head on the elder's lap, and the elder comforting him with great kindness. It was then that Terry Dobson realized he had a long way to go to master the art of Aikido, as he acknowledged that what he wanted to accomplish with muscle was truly accomplished with love. Sometimes the things we do, directly or indirectly, perpetuate sadness, pain, injustice. Almost every time someone acts in a disempowered way, it is because they are carrying a heavy burden and don't know how to handle it. To transform a state of war, we really need to use a higher vibrational action of peace. Yes, go ahead and discern what is negative or dark, but not to criticize it or to condemn it, only to allow it to inform you how to be light yourself. Where light is most needed is where there is darkness. Dr. Hawkins reminds us that no creation of God is without power, even if we have chosen to live in darkness. Even our negative thoughts have so much power that they can destroy what we focus them on. Just as a bullet can shatter glass into 1,000 pieces, or an earthquake can wipe out an entire city. And this kind of effect happens on levels that we cannot comprehend. And it happens regardless of whether the negative thought is directed at oneself or at others. Nothing is exempt from being affected by the power of your thoughts, intentions, and actions. After all, we are part of a whole, and the person, the reality that you see before you, is not separate from you. Yes, we look separate and different, just like what we see when we focus on exploring the parts of a body rather than the whole body. We cannot see that the liver is fully connected to the heart, or the brain to the guts. But when we look at the whole, or when we gain a higher consciousness perspective, we can see how what previously looked like separate parts, different bodily organs, or different nationalities, or different races, or different geographies, or different genders, are actually part of a masterful and divinely orchestrated organic system, so intimately interconnected that each part nourishes and is essential to the well-being of the whole. Every time you are in your power, you assist others in finding theirs. This cannot happen if you judge situations or people as inappropriate or undesirable. Let go of what you think should be and surrender to the awareness that there is perfection in the design before your eyes. I can share, as the saying goes, that it takes one to know one. I share about love and its absence because I have experienced it in myself and from others. To have people near and far, some even family, who speak negatively or despise me is not foreign to me. Nor am I unfamiliar with what might be called difficult conditions, such as not having a place to call home and not having the company of a spiritually enlightened woman by my side. These are not easy situations to go through, and I feel that they are even more difficult for a Latina as social as I am. But I have no interest in labeling my circumstances as problematic. I have become aware of the wisdom in my experiences. My times of solitude have served me to profoundly change my perception of reality. My lack of material stability has allowed me to value myself beyond what money provides, and to be part of eye-opening processes that have transformed my life and the life of many others. So, there is no need to judge my circumstances or the people who are not happy with my choices. I have chosen to be authentic and love the skin I am in, and even send love to others regardless of the love they struggle to offer. If I can't send love authentically, I don't send anything negative. Now more than ever, it is my conscious choice to do my best to be in my light regardless of circumstances, because I am so unwilling to compromise the love that I am. And yes, you can have hopes and a vision of the life you want and still be open to how things manifest in completely unexpected ways. We are not responsible for the unfolding of the blueprint of this reality. So let us drop the effort of trying to control and judge others and circumstances. You are an embodiment of love. Be present, be here, be forgiving, be grounded, and know that what is happening around you is always and clearly calling to you to show the power of stillness, peace, and unconditional love. You are not here to be a judge or the dispeller of darkness or to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You cannot. Every soul has a unique journey and their unique experience of reality. But you can still be here as the love that you are. Be aware of what you give to others. The more you serve unconditionally, the more love you send to others, the more you support their healing and happiness. Let your presence everywhere be evidence of what it feels like to be in the presence of love rather than in its absence. This Latina loves you all very dearly. The one speaking to you is Alejandra, and you have been listening to You Are It. See you soon. Rumi once said, "You search the world for treasures, but the real treasure is yourself." This is the essence of our message on the You Are It podcast. You are the treasure waiting to be discovered or enjoyed. You are the flame that never consumes itself and the light that shines everywhere. Now you are home. Please know that you are most welcome. Stay tuned as we look forward to sharing something of value on every episode.